Hi, it's Ileana, and today I am going to be talking about my experiences on the moon and what I remember there when I had served with lunar space operations. So I got to see very ancient ascension technology when I had been on the moon. This technology basically allowed you to energetically stay young vibrationally and physically. So there were crystalline type of chairs that you could sit in, and it would literally revitalize your whole body system. It would basically remove anything that was degenerating in the body. It would heal it. So these crystalline type of chairs, and it was blue, it glowed blue. So the ancient builder races had left this technology behind on the moon when the moon was parked by Earth almost 700,000 years ago. And it was one of the Andromedan species that had parked the moon near Earth because they didn't want this ancient laboratory planetoid that was hollowed out to get into the wrong hands. So that's why it was brought to our solar system and hidden and protected by energetic fields. So the moon has been off limits to negative species. It has world engines, so the moon could travel. It had plasma-like world engines with crystalline fields that were powering the moon, and there's multiple levels going up to these engine fields inside the core of the moon. The moon is indeed hollowed out, and you have these multiple levels where these engines are up high, and there's platforms going up to the engine systems, the world engines as I call them. Advanced civilizations like the Xanaeum, the Andromedan species that parked the moon near Earth orbit, they have the capabilities of building world engines inside planetoids to hide them. So it looks like a planet or a moon, and it could travel to different galaxies and solar systems as needed. So this technology was left behind. You can call them ascension technology, or you could call it life revitalization technology, because it rejuvenates the physical body. It heals the telomeres, it rejuvenates the cells, the DNA. It literally turns back time, and it could keep a person in a stasis field, like a morphogenic field, where you're in stasis, but your soul is aware of everything that happens around you. There's also morphogenic time preservation pods that are somewhat circular and somewhat triangular, and they themselves are made up of organic material that glows. And there were a lot of those pods left behind on the moon. So the Xanaea hid this technology, and it was deep under the moon. And I got to see some of it when I was there, because I got to study some of this ancient technology. So I'm going to show you pictures of it, what it looks like, what I saw. These are, of course, pictures that are likeness images of this technology and what it looks like, what I saw on the moon. And recently, Thorhan Iridion, Ileana Danon's Galactic Federation of Worlds contact, they retrieved these morphogenic time preservation pods. Now, there's nobody inside the pods, but a soul field vibration of these beings who left them behind. Their soul essence has awareness beyond time and space, and that is what's inside these pods. These morphogenic pods allow them to go and bridge space-time continuum, so they don't physically have to be in their bodies to be aware of what's going on in the universe. Their light body can be within the morphogenic field of these organic pods, and they have complete awareness of what's going on. So I think these, the Galactic Federation of Worlds is going to be returning these morphogenic time preservation pods to the Xenea because it belongs to them rightfully. It's their technology that was hidden here, so it would not be used for the wrong reasons. And as well, there's other ascension technology, obviously, on the moon, which I'm sure we'll be hearing about. So, and I'm going to show you the ascension chairs and what these morphogenic time preservation pods look like of what I had seen. And this presentation had come out in about 2017, 2018. And it's wonderful that Ileana is confirming this technology, that it exists on the moon. And I've been aware that there are also these structures on the moon adjacent to lunar space operations where they are producing the holographic medical pods. So they do have the facilities for that. I had seen that as well. They have medical bays, they have medical laboratories, so they can mass produce the holographic medical pods. This is what Ms. Danon is saying is happening now with the help of the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the cooperation of lunar space operations. So that's interesting to hear. When I had been on the moon, they weren't mass producing the holographic medical pods or training anybody for it at that time, just as a disclaimer. So this is, but they did have the facilities for it, and they did produce some holographic medical pods. So I was aware that that was happening on the moon, and you'll see what the facilities look like on the lunar surface. And a lot of the lunar bases are protected by domes from being hit by space debris, meteorites, or anything else that's in space. So I'll show you that in the presentation as well. This is what lunar space operations looks like on the moon, and it has about 32 to higher levels of operation, and it has biodomes, it has work facilities, and this is where the SSP assets come to be trained first in order to get acclimated to working in space, lunar space operations. This is some of the domed like facilities that can be built, and that was even considered for being built on the moon, but the Sky City domes are built on Jupiter, but they do have moon dome cities within the bases, maybe not as high as on Jupiter, but they do have that on the moon. And this is the areas of the plant facilities where they build the holographic medical pods on the moon. So they have separate facilities near lunar space operations where the holographic medical pods are being built. And it was medical research facilities, health centers on a moon colony. So they have been manufacturing the holographic medical pods, and I guess they've expanded that out now, according to Ileana Danon and what she hears from her contacts from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So perhaps Lunar Space Operations is working with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. I cannot confirm that because during the time that I was on the moon, they weren't mass producing the holographic medical pods, and they weren't training many people on how to use them, but they do have the ability and the facilities, obviously, As you can see, there's a lot of facilities, medical research facilities near lunar space operations. So that's true. They have that capability to make the holographic medical pods, not just on Mars, but on the moon as well. And this is the ascension technology with the crystalline systems that were glowing blue that I had seen on the moon that was left by the ancient builder race. And this is very much could be the Xenia technology as well. I'm not quite sure, but it could be. Again, it has to do with morphogenic fields. It has to do with reversing the aging and the time process. These ascension devices, they operate on energetic frequencies and crystalline frequencies, and they connect to the DNA blueprint to bring the body and the soul back to the original healthy blueprint. So this is what I had seen on the moon, and this technology was protected. It was not on the surface of the moon. It was deep within the moon. So it wasn't like you can easily access it. It wasn't on the surface. It was deep within the moon, and the hollowed out areas of the moon. And this is the morphogenic field time preservation pods that allow soul essences to exist in different time matter or timelines in multiple dimensions or universes without needing a physical body to be in the same space-time continuum. This is what the Xenia have on the moon that was recovered by the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So it is like housing a light body within the morphogenic field time preservation pods, and that light body can exist in various timelines or space continuums without dying. It does not need physical form to survive. So again, it does not need the physical form to survive. As the morphogenic fields stabilize the soul and the light body, having unlimited light field energetics to sustain the body. So this is how the Andromedan species of the Xenia can exist within our space-time frame without their physical bodies being present, as their light bodies are stored within the morphogenic fields of the preservation pods, and they can have awareness of what's going on here in this galaxy. And this technology, as per the Galactic Federation of Worlds protocols, will be given back to the Xenia because it's their technology. So they retrieved it according to what Miss Ileana has said. So I've seen this stuff on the moon. It exists there. I've seen similar devices in the Atlantean outposts in Antarctica. Though that technology is more crystalline, this is more organic, even more organic than what's in the Atlantean outposts, but very similar because it preserves the soul and allows the soul to have awareness outside the body. That's what the Atlantean cryogenic stasis pods do, and they're based on crystalline technology, and I think also organic matter. So that was also on the moon, but those are the morphogenic field time preservation pods. They're very organic looking, but they sort of have a metallic sheen to them. They're organic, but again, there is some physical structure keeping them together. So it has this metallic crystalline feel to it when you see it, but it works purely on organic matter with the morphogenic time preservation fields within these pods. And this is what the world engines look like inside the moon on those many different levels that powered the moon to come here into our galaxy by the Andromedans, the Xenia. And these planetoids can travel because the world engines are within the planets or the moons, the hollowed out areas within the moons or the planetary bodies. So you could physically move the planetoids wherever you want. So that's what these world engines look like. And there's a lot of the ancient Atlantean outposts. Some of them are near Lake Vostok, actually, in Antarctica, under the ice sheets, and some on the surface in very remote areas. And the Atlanteans had circular type outposts and cities connected by water, connected by nature. So they had circular cities. And again, this is something I had seen in Antarctica's cryogenic crystalline pod systems. I saw that in Antarctica as well, and there's actually blue beings inside them. But their soul awareness still being active, so they're aware of what's happening around them, but the bodies are in stasis. I didn't study the blue beings, I just studied the crystalline cryogenic pod systems. Again, similar to the morphogenic preservation time field pods, but those are more organic matter of what I saw on the moon. And this is kind of the Atlantean technology and what some of their outposts look like, and the crystalline Neuralink chairs, which look like rock structures with crystalline surfaces around it. I had seen that in the Atlantean outposts in Antarctica. So I wanted to share what I had seen on the moon and what I had seen in Antarctica. And this coincides with what Ileana Danon has just recently posted about those organic morphogenic time preservation pods. I had seen those as well on the moon, plus this ancient technology, ancient ascension technology that was left on the moon by the ancient builder races. And I suspect that Xenia are one of those ancient builder races. They're not the Cedars, they're not the Cedar race, they're not the Galactic Federation of Worlds, they're separate from them. So this kind of technology connects to energetic key code sequences that when activated can still create ascension time dilation windows, which can change the molecular structure of the human body, rapidly evolving it to different dimensional level and healing the body. So this is what this stuff does. And it's connected to the light ray crystal biomodules embedded in the ascension chairs themselves. So it heals you on a crystalline field level of evolution and healing the body. So it's crystalline technology. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. So thank you so much, and namaste.